millionaire version. I just wish my family hadn't ruined the way you found out I know. I kissed him and said his family hadn't ruined anything. They actually did me a favor. I got to see exactly how much you value money, which is not at all. You defended me against your whole family without knowing I had $1 to my name. Adrian pulled me closer. They're going to call. Probably a lot. They're going to want to apologize and explain and make excuses. I told him he could handle that however he wanted. I wasn't going to tell him how to deal with his family. I will say, though, if they want to make it right, they should start with some genuine self-reflection about why they thought testing me was appropriate in the first place. Adrian agreed, and we spent the rest of the evening talking about everything we hadn't shared yet. Over the next few days, Adrian's phone blew up with calls and texts from his family. He ignored most of them, but eventually read me some of the messages. Diane had sent a long apology text saying she'd been terrified of Adrian getting hurt again and had let that fear turn her into someone she didn't recognize. Richard sent a shorter message acknowledging they'd crossed a line and asking for a chance to make it right. Veronica surprisingly sent the most genuine apology. She said seeing Adrian defend me had reminded her of how Richard used to defend Diane against their grandmother, and she realized they'd become exactly what they'd always claimed to hate. Mitchell sent a text just saying, "Your girlfriend is badass and I'm sorry we suck." That one made Adrian laugh. A week after the birthday dinner confrontation, Adrian finally agreed to meet with his parents. I offered to come with him, but he said he needed to do this alone. He was gone for 3 hours, and when he came back to the penthouse, he looked exhausted but lighter somehow. "They're going to therapy," he said, dropping onto the couch. "All of them, together. Family therapy to work on their trust issues and control problems." I asked how he felt about that, and he said it was a start. They admitted they'd let their wealth turn them paranoid. They were so afraid of people using me for money that they created this test. And then when you passed by, not caring about money, they panicked because they couldn't imagine why else someone would be with their son, except for financial gain. I sat next to him, and he leaned against me. Mom said something that stuck with me. She said, "When you're rich, you start to wonder if anyone would love you if you had nothing. So they created a scenario where they had nothing to see if you'd stay. But when you stayed, it broke their brains because their worldview said gold diggers only stick around for money." I pointed out that their logic was flawed from the start. If I was a gold digger, I would have researched them first, found out they were rich, and played the part of someone who didn't care about money. Their test was designed to catch amateurs. Adrian laughed for the first time since the birthday dinner. "You kind of did research them and play a part, though." I admitted that was fair. But I played the part to see their true character, not to manipulate money out of them. There's a difference. About 2 weeks later, Diane called me directly. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won out. She asked if I'd be willing to meet her for coffee, just the two of us. I agreed, mostly because I wanted to see if this apology would be genuine or another manipulation. We met at a quiet cafe downtown, and Diane showed up looking nervous. She'd dropped the struggling mom costume and was dressed in her actual style. Elegant, expensive, understated. "Thank you for meeting me," she started. "I wasn't sure you would." I told her I was curious what she wanted to say. Diane took a breath and said, "I'm not going to make excuses for what we did. It was manipulative and cruel, and we hurt both you and Adrian." She continued, talking about how they'd dealt with several people over the years who'd tried to get close to their family for money. It made us paranoid and controlling. We stopped seeing people as individuals and started seeing everyone as a potential threat.